Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of phone calls here and quite a few score of letters complaining about our newest innovation, the one-word monologue. People saying things like, well, Lassiter didn't do his homework, that's for sure, with his one-word monologue. So today we have decided to double our effort in order to appease the hundreds and hundreds of people who have complained about the one-word monologue and go to a two-word monologue, and that is today, Oliver North. There will be a little bit of editorial snickering in the background. Oliver North, of course, the man who helped to, rip the country in two. Oliver North, a rather arrogant little punk who tried to tell us that he had to suspend our democracy to try to foster democracy someplace else. I never did quite understand that one, but there were an awful lot of jerks who like to refer to themselves as conservatives who sat around going, yep, that's right, if you're going to have democracy in Nicaragua, we'll have to do away with ours. The poor people in Nicaragua can't vote for a Congress. People in America can, but Oliver North decided that Congress was not worthy of their constitutionally mandated responsibility in running the nation. So that's it. Oliver North, 990-9352 in Hillsborough, 461-9352 in Pinellas. We'll wait. We're very patient, especially at this hour of the day. Did you finish the dining room last night, Mike? Oh, okay, good. Oh, my. The phone is really starting to twinkle now. Okay, Town and Country. Hi, Town. You're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Only thing I want to say about Ollie is he didn't get what he deserved. He should have gotten more than 3 counts. And I don't think it's over with yet, Bob.
Well, which counts did you think that he should have gotten that he didn't?
Well...
I see. You don't know what other things he was charged with, then.
Well, yeah. Especially ones that, basically him about lying to Congress. He even said so himself.
Sir, he was convicted of that. Obstruction of Congress.
Well, he didn't get enough anyway.
But you don't know what he was. I see. He didn't get enough anyway, and then the punk runs away and hangs up. You don't even know what the hell you're talking about. You don't know what the other 9 charges were, but unbelievable. Carolwood. Hi, Carol. You're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Good afternoon, Mr. Lassiter.
Afternoon.
I was just calling to say I heard the news about 10 minutes ago on your station, and I was a little relieved. I'm happy to hear that he was acquitted of all but 3 of the charges.
What charges was he acquitted of?
To be very honest with you, I
don't know.
No.
But you're glad that he was acquitted of them anyway.
Well, I know what they are, but I can't list them specifically.
Well, could you, put them in general terms for us?
I can attempt to. One, that he violated the American Constitution.
That he violated the American Constitution,
by taking part in a covert operation that was against the law. And that's about, in principle, quite honestly, all I can list out of the 9, other than the 3 that he wasn't convicted for.
In essence, what you're talking about is a charge that he conspired to obstruct, or not to obstruct, but conspired to get around the Boland Amendment. I'm not sure the precise terminology of it, but at least you have some vague idea, which is more than our last caller did.
All right.
And for that, I have respect for you.
Well, thank you. One other comment.
Sure.
The reason why, although I don't agree with anything that he did, and I don't particularly like the man as an individual, I do think that, much like Spiro Agnew, he was being used as a scapegoat in amongst many people that failed to take responsibility for their actions, and for that reason, I'm happy that he's been acquitted of most of the charges.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Take care. Spiro Agnew, a scapegoat, okay. 990-9352 in Hillsborough, 461-9352 in Pinellas. We have doubled our efforts today, a 2-word monologue, Oliver North. Brandon, obviously an Oliver North supporter. Unfortunately, we will not be able to share that with you. Not that it was so bad, it's just that, hey, We just got a big kick out of the guy going to all the trouble for nothing. St. Petersburg, you're on the air at 970 WFLA. Hello, St. Pete.
Yeah.
You're on the air.
Yeah.
Oh, pity poop. Tampa, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Hey, Bob, how you doing?
Fine.
Hey, good to talk to you. I'm really disappointed that Oliver North got off on all the serious charges, and
He didn't.
I think he's a real scumbag.
He didn't get off on all the serious charges.
Well, he got off on, as far as I'm concerned, the biggest ones anyway. And I think he's a scumbag and a federal criminal, and all the flag wavers who are calling you. What's that?
Which ones did he get off on?
Well, anyway, that's my opinion, Bob.
I
Thanks.
see. Oh, what a great bunch of people. I mean, it doesn't seem to make any difference on either side. You guys don't really seem to know what the hell you're talking about, but that's okay. That's what we're here for. We are definitely here for that. That is for sure. 990-9352 in Hillsborough, 461-9352 in Pinellas. You know, I kind of really enjoy days like today when you guys make absolute asses out of yourselves. I really enjoy it. Tampa, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Hello.
Yeah, hi.
Hello?
You got to turn the radio down. If you don't, I'm going to go on to somebody else.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, hold on, he says. Unbelievable. Why didn't you take the...
Okay, Bob.
Why didn't you listen to Michael the first time he told you to turn the radio down?
Hold on. Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I couldn't care less. St. Petersburg, you're on there at 970 WFLA.
Yes, Robert, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm one of the idiots that you're talking about that doesn't really... I didn't understand the charges that they were charging him with.
You don't understand little things like, stealing?
Oh, I understand that.
Lying?
Yeah. Oh, lying to Congress, destroying records.
Right.
What I don't understand, Bob, is that he wasn't charged for things like gun running or selling arms to the enemy.
Well, he didn't.
But he did.
No, but he didn't.
Iran's not an ally of the United States.
He didn't sell guns to Iran.
He didn't.
No, he didn't.
Somebody did.
That's right. He wasn't the one. Those guys are still to come.
But he was in on it.
No, he wasn't in on it.
Oh, Robert.
Otherwise, he would have been charged, sir. Those guys are still to come.
Well, I still think they should put, Reagan on the stand, too. And I hope that will
On the
come
stand
next.
for what, sir?
Knowing about it or not knowing about it, one of the two.
Put him on the stand for knowing about it?
Yeah, well,
I don't
so
understand what that means.
So that he can testify.
Well, his testimony wasn't needed.
Thank goodness. But I'm like the others. I didn't know all the charges, but I didn't memorize all the charges.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I don't know all the charges either, but I'm not going to sit here and say, boy, I'm really bummed out that he wasn't convicted on all of them, or boy, I'm really bummed out that he was convicted.
Yeah, I do wish, that he would have been found guilty on more of them.
There you go again. What were the charges?
I know. I'm just as stupid
What
as
do you
the other
want?
crossers.
Blood? You got 10 years, $750,000 in fines, and the three most. This man is now a felon.
Yeah, hopefully
Convicted
the
of
ones that
3
he
felonies.
Hopefully the charges that he did get found guilty on are enough to put him away for a while.
10
And maybe
years, isn't that enough for you?
Yeah, that's enough.
I mean, what we know for a fact that he did, he was convicted of today. We knew for a fact that he accepted an illegal gratuity with offense. Bam, he was convicted of that. We knew for a fact that he destroyed government documents. Bam, he was convicted of that. And we know for a fact that he obstructed Congress by deliberately lying to them. Some of the other things that, off the top of my head, that we don't know for a fact, but sure as hell don't look terribly good, but we don't know for a fact that he actually stole money out of the Contra's funds.
Yeah, we don't know that.
No, we don't know that for a fact. It doesn't look too good. Unfortunately, all those diaries were destroyed. Isn't that a shame, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But the really serious stuff, bam,
Yeah,
he was convicted of today. There is justice.
I agree. You going to be listening to Saving Sam on Saturday?
Who knows?
He's going to have fun with this.
Who knows?
Probably have a pity party or something.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Take care, Robert.
Be good. 990-9352 in Hillsborough, 461-9352 in Pinellas. Actually, the Pinellas line is the only one that is available for this moment. Sarah, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Yes, my name is Mike. On Oliver North...
Why did you tell me what your name was? Does it make any difference what your name is?
No, I guess not.
Okay. Well, continue ahead, please.
Well, I'm a first-time caller, and I'm, I don't want to be eaten alive. Oliver North, for what he was convicted on, the people that convicted him and everything, there's more pity out there for the man than the people that actually think what he was guilty of.
Well, I don't quite understand what that says. What does that mean?
I think people, for Oliver North himself, the people are more sorry for than some people like the Marine, the Rambo attitude, trying to save everybody from the communists, you know. And it's to me it's ironic because I never seen. I've been down here 18 years, and I have never seen so many people that are anti-communist. I mean, unreal. And and they ignore the fact that there's so much crime and everything else on the street. And what Oliver North was convicted of was, even though it was definitely against the law, he lied to a Congress. If anybody else lied to a Congress, they'd take you out and hang you. And
well, it's one of the things he was convicted of today.
Yeah, but for the people that are still Ollie believers, they'll never admit to it,
Doesn't make any difference anymore.
Well, that's true.
Justice prevailed.
Thank God for that. I got to ask you one thing, okay? I want to quit smoking, and I've heard you talk about a doctor on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
And could you please tell me how I'm in Sarasota, and it's virtually.
I'm going to put you on hold, and Michael can get you that information. Okay, on hold he goes. I go to Gulfport. Hi, Gulf. You're on the air at 970 WFLA.
How you doing, Bob?
Fine.
Well, I'm sorry that what happened to Ollie North.
Why?
Well, I'll tell you why.
I would hope so. That's what I just asked you.
Okay. When Jesus says, "Who is not guilty to cast the first stone?"
Mm-hmm.
That we all casting the stones, but we all are guilty.
Oh, well, by that...
Take him from the top to the bottom.
Sir,
yeah?
By that logic, then I suppose no one should ever go to jail for anything.
No one should go to jail for anything?
Right, sir. By using your own logic, we're all guilty, so therefore...
Well...
But he was without sin cast the first stone.
When the man carry orders, he didn't do it on himself?
No, sir, I beg your pardon, sir. Nobody ordered him to accept an illegal gratuity. No one ordered him to do that, sir.
Was he doing it on himself?
That's right, sir.
No way.
Oh, really, sir?
I'm sorry, no way.
Well, funny, Ollie says so. Is Ollie lying again?
What was the case he doing there?
Sir, was Ollie lying?
What was the case
Sir, was Ollie lying when he told us that he accepted that gratuity of his own free will, and then, sir, tried to hide it? Was he lying then, sir, too?
He wasn't informed to do all that.
Oh, sir, you're a jerk. You don't have any opinions, sir. You're just a moron. I'll talk to people with opinions, but I'm not going to talk to morons.
Hello, Americans. This is Paul Harvey. So frequently, the only...
970 WFLA.
Hi, Bob.
Hi.
I think justice was served today in that trial. I think it's particularly interesting on the charges that he wasn't found guilty on. It's basically the only obstruction of justice, or obstruction of Congress, rather, that he was found guilty on was in helping Casey prepare his false chronology of events,
mm-hmm.
which Casey was answerable to the Congress, and obviously that was a violation of the congressional authority.
And which North, of course, admitted to.
Right. Now, the obstruction of Congress as a member of the NSC, he was found not guilty down the line on, which is answerable to the administration. And personally, I see it as kind of a move back into separating the administration as a separate branch of government from the Congress, rather than as a servant of the Congress, which has kind of been the trend since Vietnam, with the War Powers Act and that sort of thing.
Oh, when has the administration been a servant of Congress?
Well, with the War Powers Act, there have been several other legislation they put through to try to tie the hands.
When did the War Powers Act tie the hands of the president?
Well, it limits him. He can't have anybody in for over 60 days.
Yeah, but so when has the War Powers Act been a problem for any president?
Well, it's been bantered about as an axe over his head. It was used in the Persian Gulf. It was used in the Persian Gulf.
I beg your pardon, sir.
It was held as a hammer over his head in the Persian Gulf when the
Sir, the War Powers Act was not invoked in the Persian Gulf.
No, it wasn't invoked, but it was held as a lever. You can use an act without invoking it.
Sir, how did the War Powers Act become law?
Because the Congress was worried that it would have another Vietnam.
How did it become law, sir?
It was voted on by the Congress and was signed off by a president.
Thank you. That's right.
But that doesn't mean that it's right.
Oh, so it's wrong because you don't approve of it.
Well, I think it's something that usurps the separation of powers in the government.
Well, sir, who can declare war?
Congress.
Right, sir. So in essence, instead of tying the president's hands, what the War Powers Act did is it relieved the Congress of their responsibility of declaring war and passed it off to the president for 60 days. So, sir, it didn't take away any power from the president. It took away power from Congress. Good grief, man. Before the War Powers Act, the president didn't have the responsibility, or not the responsibility,
well, he did,
the authority to really commit troops.
Well, then how do we manage to spend 10 years in Vietnam and we're still in South Korea under the solely presidential approval? The Congress was afraid to move.
Exactly, sir. So it's not taking away any power from the president, is it? The president has powers that he shouldn't even have because of a gutless Congress.
Oh, I'll agree with that.
A gutless American people that wouldn't demand a declaration of war in those two actions that you speak of.
I have to agree with you on that, but I see it as a return back to the separation of powers, as I said before. I really think that, Congress has been trying to usurp the executive branch of the
Where
government.
have they been trying to take away the executive branch's powers? Can you give me an example?
You're putting me on a spot now. I could have if I wasn't on the radio and thinking about it.
I know. You probably have it written down at home. Tampa, you're on there at 970 WFLA.
Oh, fine. I'd like to make 2 or 3 points. One of them is very important, and that is that these people who are Ollie North supporters are saying that he was found innocent on 9 counts. That's newspaper talk. That is not legal talk. The jury found him not guilty on 9 counts, which is to say that they did not find evidence beyond a reasonable doubt to hold him guilty.
Well, so therefore, sir, he was innocent.
It is not a finding of innocence. Then the second thing is, if he'd had 12 counts of murder against him and he'd been convicted on 3 of them, would everybody be buying champagne at the North household? No. He was convicted of very serious offenses.
I don't know anybody, sir, that said he wasn't.
Well, I heard Tom Brokaw, and this really surprised me, say that he thought that the North people would feel that this was a victory because the jury had found him innocent on 9 counts.
Well, sir, Tom has to fill some airtime without much thought and preparation.
I'm afraid
so. Occasionally you say, kind of dumb things. When you're facing 10 years in the slammer and $750,000 worth of fines, I don't think that's,
And he can no longer
just sneeze at.
He cannot hold office in the United States, any office in the United States in the future. I don't know. I suppose
that's not true. He could be pardoned. Huh? That's not true. He could be pardoned and have all of his rights restored.
Well, until he is pardoned. And I wouldn't be too surprised if George Bush pardoned him because of his military record.
I'd be real surprised if George would like to do 8 years.
Oh, yeah. Well, they do say, and I'm sure that I am a lawyer, incidentally. I'm sure that in any trial of the nature of this one, with all the new ground to be covered, that there are a great many points to be settled on appeal. So the battle isn't really completely lost by Ollie North, but I would say that Ollie North is probably feeling very, very, very bad right now, not feeling any great joy. And if anybody calls you and tells you they're celebrating because the jury found him innocent on 9 counts, that is just really ridiculous.
Well, sir, I'll make up my mind as to what calls are ridiculous and which ones aren't. For those of you that were fascinated with the legal talk, there is more of that every morning here between 9 and noon. Monday through Friday. Tampa, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Yeah. Hi, Bob.
Hi.
I'd like to say just one thing in defense of North. I think that in any point in these proceedings, if Ollie North would have taken the route of giving Congress what they wanted and singing like a canary and implicating the president, which I'm incidentally I'm sure.
Sir, it wasn't Congress that put him on trial. It was the U.S. Justice Department.
Yes, I know that.
So then why are you trying to blame Congress?
Well, I'm speaking mostly of the congressional hearings.
You're just talking out of your hat. I see. Go ahead.
No, the congressional hearings opened the door for the subsequent indictments.
No, they didn't, sir.
I know the evidence couldn't be used.
No, they didn't, sir. They didn't open the door for the subsequent indictments. They're actually two separate.
I realize that, but
then why, sir, did you try to imply that they weren't?
Well, when he started down the path of lying to Congress, which incidentally was one of the charges.
That's right.
Right. Okay, that's the point I'm trying to make. If he would have taken a different attitude, I think he could have saved himself. If he would have implicated the president, I think he would have saved himself a lot of anguish. And incidentally, I'm sure that the president knew all along what was going on.
You are?
And
you are, sir?
I'm convinced.
You are, sir?
Personally. Yeah.
Do you have inside information?
No, but I believe.
Oh, so you just want to believe it?
Well, okay, yeah, I want to believe it. But so in his defense, I think that he was trying to save the president before.
Well, is that good or bad?
Well, I think it shows some honor, I guess.
Some honor?
Yeah, I think so.
What kind of honor does it show toward his children who will now be without their father?
Well,
what kind of honor is that, sir?
I don't serve in your country.
What kind of honor is it to circumvent one democracy to supposedly help another? What kind of honor is in that, sir? I swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth. So help me God that I swear to you I believe in, and then lie. What kind of honor is that, sir?
Well, I guess there's not as much honor in lying, but...
no, there isn't.
Saving the presidency. Saving Reagan's reputation now subsequently, that Reagan's not in office.
Saving Reagan's reputation?
I give him a little credit for that. I mean, we could have had another Watergate, but Oliver North is taking the blame and saying the buck stops here.
Sir, I think we should have had another Watergate if there was another Watergate warranted.
Well, that's another subject. I really don't...
subject. Well, sir, this is a nation of laws, is it not?
It is.
You have obstruction of justice for preventing it.
I think he is. I think ultimately laws were broken, definitely.
Honor in the same sentence with all of this.
Well, I don't... Are you saying that every law is a good law? I mean...
Sir, when you're just a lieutenant colonel, yeah, every law...
Yes,
no, sir, I'm sorry. What you do is you swear to uphold the Constitution.
Well, Reagan swore to uphold the Constitution.
Not to uphold Ronald Reagan.
Well, I don't even know if...
The military code of justice, sir, tells you that you do not only do you not have an obligation, but you do not follow an illegal order.
Well,
that's what it says.
When you're a lieutenant colonel and you work directly for the president and he tells you communists are taking over in our hemisphere...
If you are a PFC, or a lieutenant colonel, or a 5-star general, you do not follow an illegal order.
Well, a lot of them throughout the years have been...
Yeah, I know, sir. A lot of people have committed murder. That's what happens to you when you break the law. You pay the consequences of the law.
He's going to pay for those consequences, and I think he's paying for someone else, ultimately. And I think history may view this whole affair a little differently, given the space of 10 or 20 years, and we see what develops in Central America. And I don't think it's...
Sir, you want to know what's going to develop in Central America? I'll tell you what's going to develop in Central America. More and more and more and more socialism, sir. And the reason it's going to develop is because of pig-headed people like Ronald Reagan and like Oliver North, who think that other people are just little pawns to be used here, there, and the other place. Because of pig-headed people like Ronald Reagan and Oliver North, who think that only some people deserve power, that only some people deserve money. So, sir, you're absolutely right. That's what's going to happen in Central America. But it's not because of the failure of Oliver North. It's because of the success of Ronald Reagan.
I think it goes back a lot further than Reagan. I think we've been guilty of benign neglect at best in Central America over the years.
Yeah, about 200 of them, sir. About 200 of them, but rarely have we kept armies alive in Central America to just...
No, we did it ourselves back in the old days. We went down and did it ourselves as somebody. I'm not against socialism or whatever economic policy they want to pursue.
I'm dead set against it.
I'm against foreign, as the Monroe Doctrine says, foreign power trying to establish a base, whether actual physical base or...
Sir, the Soviets don't need a base in Nicaragua.
Not with the Sandinistas, I guess not. Given the chance to consolidate their power, they won't need a base.
Sir, Nicaragua is so damn poor they can't afford to run the water 24 hours a day.
Well, maybe they ought to
So how in the hell do you think they're going to go running around Central and South America creating war, which is very expensive?
Well, they've had a little bit of an opportunity to put their Marxist theories to work and improve the situation, and they haven't done it.
Sir, what country currently has Nicaraguan troops fighting in it?
Nicaragua.
Who are they fighting, sir?
They're fighting what elements of the Contras that are not yet wiped out. I guess they're not even there anymore.
That's right, sir. They aren't even fighting. They aren't even fighting in Nicaragua, are they?
No, not anymore.
That's right. So you don't have to worry, sir, about those Nicaraguan troops, do you?
Not today.
Yeah.
What about next year or the year after?
They'll be in worse trouble economically next year, sir, than they are today.
Well, the Soviets are still pumping millions of rubles into the Nicaraguan economy.
Sir, you better read your newspaper. They've
been cutting back, because at home they have their own problems because their system doesn't work.
That's right.
But that's not that. I don't think this glasnost and this perestroika is so great, because I think once the Soviets realize that they have such an inferior system, if the hardliners over there ever get back in power, they're going to see their only option is to fight.
Then, sir, it would seem to me that it would be to your distinct benefit to help the Soviet Union and to help Gorbachev pull off these things.
I hope Gorbachev succeeds in ousting the hardliners from the party.
Then, sir, why are you trying to keep him pinned down in places like Nicaragua?
Well, I'm not trying to keep him pinned down. I'm trying to keep the Sandinistas, who I guess he sponsors.
Then what I would suggest, sir, is that you relieve the Soviets of their burden and go into Nicaragua with massive aid. You see, the Nicaraguans need a new water system. They need new hospitals. They need new factories. They need new shoes.
And they need a political system with multi-party possibilities.
Sir, it doesn't make a damn bit of difference what the political system is.
Oh, yes, it does.
No, sir, it doesn't. If you were so dead set against socialism,
I'm not against socialism.
You'd be pretty unhappy with Israel. You'd be pretty damned unhappy with England, too, by the way. You'd be very unhappy with France.
Well, I'm happier with England than I was in the past. But
right, sir, because you've got somewhere in the back of your head this little pig-headed thing about communism. Oh, well, communism must be eradicated.
No, sir, I don't care about communism. If a country freely elects to choose that as their economic system, so be it. I mean, it's inferior.
Then stop trying to change the political system in Nicaragua and just change the economic system in Nicaragua, and the political system will come around. Simple as that.
Why take chances? Let Lucky Lotto be your...
Well, if you listen to this program, you've heard the words Town and Country Mortgage and Investment Corporation before. And you've heard me say that if you have anything to do with a mortgage, then Town and Country Mortgage and Investment Corporation is the place for you. In other words, if you're a first-time home buyer and you've never been able to figure out just quite all of the intricacies about mortgages, well, a licensed mortgage broker is the place to go. Or if you're looking for a second mortgage to maybe tide you through some rough times, or if you're looking for a construction loan or perhaps a small commercial real estate loan, Town and Country Mortgage and Investment Corporation is the place for you. But maybe you've got some money and you'd like to put them into mortgages. Well, Town and Country Mortgage and Investment Corporation is the place for you. You see, what a licensed mortgage broker does is bring borrower and lender together. Town and Country Mortgage and Investment Corporation for whatever your needs are in the mortgage field. First, second mortgages, low rates, fast service, terms to fit your needs. 264-2648. Town and Country Mortgage and Investment Corporation. They're located at 14502 North Dale Mabry. Again, that telephone number 264-2648. Tampa, hi, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Yeah, Bob.
Yeah.
I'm calling defense of Ollie North.
Okay.
I think he was used as a patsy, but
Why do you think that, sir?
Well...
Or is that just what you'd like to think?
Excuse me?
I said, or is that just what you'd like to think?
No, that's exactly what I think.
Well, why, sir?
Because I think he was truly committed to getting those hostages out by a fact that he was a soldier. I think that was his duty. I think he really...
Sir, they weren't dealing with anybody that held hostages.
Well, I think Iran has a few, and they had it at the time.
Sir, well, I'm sorry, Ronald Reagan and the administration didn't think Iran had any of them.
No, well, you know better than that.
Well, no.
Are you saying that Iran doesn't have hostages?
Sir, who should I believe, you or Ronald Reagan?
Well, that's up to you.
Well, sir, why would Ronald Reagan lie to me about hostages being held in Iran?
Well, Ronald Reagan has nothing to do with what I'm talking about.
Well,
I'm
sir,
talking about
Oliver North, sir, supposedly worked for Ronald Reagan in his basement, remember?
Yeah, yes, he did.
Yeah, and then, he was, Ronald Reagan was Oliver North's employer. Remember?
Yeah.
So as Ronald Reagan's employer, Oliver North should have been doing what his employer told him to do, right?
I think that's exactly what he did.
Oh.
That's exactly what I think he's done as a soldier, and a soldier does not question what orders he...
Oh, sir, I beg your pardon. A soldier swears to
How could you beg my pardon?
Orders.
You haven't heard what I've said yet.
Well, sir, what you're saying is wrong.
Well, how do you know? You didn't listen.
Sir...
God,
sir,
you're really good at this.
Sir,
you know what people are going to say before they say it.
Well, no, sir, you just said a soldier doesn't question orders, and I'm telling you a soldier does question orders. As a matter of fact, he swears to question bad orders.
Have you ever been in the service, Bob?
Doesn't make any difference, sir. I know what the Uniform Code of Justice says.
No.
Sir, I know what the Uniform Code of Justice says, which apparently you don't. You don't follow bad orders.
I do know.
And you're a damn bad soldier, sir, and I'm glad you're out. You are out, I hope, aren't you?
They don't ask
you are out, aren't you, sir?
By the way, here's an order. Here's an order, officer.
Are you out, sir? Are you out of the military? Thank God you're out of the military, because you don't know what you're supposed to do, sir.
It just depends on how loud you can yell to get your point across, Bob.
No, sir, my volume has nothing whatsoever to do with it. Because you're a moron, sir, and you're making me angry.
Bob. You're a wimp.
Oh, I'm a wimp? How's that, sir?
I think you sat on your big old butt over there in that radio station while Ollie North's been out there trying to save some hostages.
Yeah, save hostages.
And you've enjoyed the fruits of the land here that Ollie North's been over there trying to provide and keep for us.
Where did Oliver North go, sir?
And all you can do is sit there and run him down.
Where did Oliver North go, sir? Oh, yes, sir. He's a convicted felon.
What the hell did you do to save those hostages,
Bobby? He's a convicted felon, sir.
What'd you do to save those hostages, Bobby? Nothing, but set off...
No, sir, I did the same damn thing that Oliver North did.
You did nothing, Bobby,
I did the same thing that Oliver North did, sir.
Run him down because he made an effort to do something.
You're right, sir. I did the same thing that Oliver North did.
To do.
Nothing.
Right, you did nothing.
Right, just like Oliver North did, sir.
He did a lot. At least he tried, Bobby. He didn't lay on his big butt and say, oh, my God, look what we've done to Nicaragua. And you know what I think we need to do? We need to go over there and build them a whole water system so they can get a lot of water when they come over and shoot us all.
Well, sir, if you really cared about people, then you would want to build them a water system.
I don't give a shit about Nicaragua, and I don't care about your commie ways.
All my commie ways.
Oh, you're nothing but a damn liberal that sits back and lets all these people do your dirty work, and you lay there and ride your bicycle.
What dirty work, sir? What dirty work? Did Oliver North get the hostages?
That's right. At least the
no,
man
he didn't, sir. So he didn't do any dirty work, did he?
Hostage. He had good intentions.
Oh, he had good intentions. Oh!
Well, that's more than you had, sitting over there eating frosty cakes every night while they were over there in prison.
What are frosty cakes?
Hey, how would you feel if one of them were your brothers over there? If one of those hostages was your brothers, Bob, how would you feel?
The same way, sir.
No, you wouldn't.
I beg your pardon, sir.
If you did, you don't give a shit about your family or anyone else.
I'd like to get you and Janet Scialis together. You know, maybe you could have a great show, the two of you.
I'd like to get you and some other commie together, and maybe you can compare notes.
Yeah, what's that mean, sir?
What's that mean?
Yeah, what's that mean? Me and some other commie and compare notes, huh?
Well, I think what it means is that I think you're a little to the left.
Yeah,
so
a
far
little
that
to the
you
left.
Probably wreck your bicycle when you're pedaling it.
Yeah.
You know, Bob, you really make me sick.
I make you sick, sir?
You really do.
Yeah.
You sit on your big butt and you tell the whole American public, because you have the power of the sauce there with the radio, how bad America is all the time, and this and that.
No, sir, I tell America how good it could be. I never tell America how bad it is. I tell it how good it could be.
Well,
so that's the difference between you and me, sir. That's the difference between you and me, sir. You're not interested in the better America.
You know what you are, Bob? You're a citizen like I am, and you have no more authority than I got. If you can make it better.
Sir, for the first time in this conversation, you've said something I agree with. I'm a citizen like you. Now I'm going to hang up on you, you son of a bitch, for calling me a communist. Now let's go to Reddington Shores. Hi, Reddington. You're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Yeah, Bob, how are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
All right. I just wanted to make a couple comments there. First of all, you know, it's kind of like Ollie there did a John Wayne there, and he did one for the Gipper. And I think we need to look at that real hard, because although he should be convicted, and he should have been convicted
What do you mean we need to look at it real hard? What difference does it make, sir?
Well, because we're looking at what's going on in the 80s. I mean, there's a lot of Ollie Norris we ain't found out about. And, you know, the CIA and all of them, there's a lot of cover-up there, or I believe there is. You know, and whether they want to cite it as national security, why they tell us or not, you're looking at, I mean, you know, all these people are seeing all these things, and there's more of them going on. And Reagan is the one that's responsible, whether or not the liability will lay with him, and Ollie's responsible for his own actions. But like I said, he John Wayne it. And he's going to eat the 8 to 10 years, whatever he gets, and he probably is not going to do that much time, or we both know that. I believe he'll probably be sentenced under federal guidelines, so he probably won't get but a couple years on this thing. I mean, when
that's
they take
sufficient.
10 years,
That's
they really
sufficient.
about
That's
two.
sufficient. He's been convicted of 3 felonies. I'll live with that. I'll take it.
Well, so will I. But what you're saying is right. You're making us aware of that this is going on, but it's going to happen again, and it's going to continue to happen. Like you said, there's a lot of pawns out there, and what us as citizens, we don't have any control over what's going on there, other than we can voice our opinion and hopefully one day, eliminate it. But South America's shot. It's going to be a socialist.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ray Collins standing by at the WFLA News Desk. Ray.
Thanks, Bob.
Maybe do the dishes. Possibly, maybe once every 2 or 3 weeks I could do the mirrors in the dining room. But I just didn't have the energy left to do the windows. I didn't have the energy left to get up and, get the cobwebs out of the corners of the cathedral ceiling. I didn't have the energy to go out and weed the yard. And then Muffy got me an Oric. An Oric vacuum cleaner, only 8 pounds. I'm able to just whiz around and do all of the chores in no time flat, have all the energy left to do the windows, to do the weeding out in the garden, to wash the car, to change the oil. So if maybe you would like to make it easier on your husband, you might get him an Oric vacuum cleaner. What are you looking at me like some kind of a jerk for, Michael? I got to sell these damn things. You know what I mean? Now, I know they're good. You know they're good. But I got to get their attention. He's always looking at me like I'm crazy. The Oric XL, 8 pounds. It is literally a lightweight cleaning machine, not just a vacuum cleaner. You can see it in 2 locations, 13230 North Dale Mabry in Tampa, 13230 North Dale Mabry. Their telephone number is 264-1937, or 2454 McMullen Booth Road in Clearwater, 2454 McMullen Booth. Their telephone number, 726-0523. The Oric is an incredible vacuum cleaner. Trust me. Largo, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Yeah, Bob.
Yeah.
Have you served in the service?
You know the answer to that.
I don't know the answer. I just
what
listen to you on occasion.
What kind of a moron were you? We just discussed that not 3 minutes ago on this radio show.
Then you're not a believer in our armed forces, are you?
That has nothing whatsoever to do with it.
It must.
No, it doesn't. I mean, if you're going to say stupid things, I'm going to hang up on you and go to somebody else. Now, you're going to start talking sensibly or what?
Talking sensibly?
You got me.
I believe I am.
I believe otherwise. Riverview, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Hi, Bob.
Hi.
I think it's kind of interesting that people are forgetting how this seemingly insignificant group of people got all this power to attempt to do all these illegal acts. I mean, it's beyond me that this group of people could have actually attempted, with no oversight, all the things that they did attempt to do.
Well, what do you mean?
Well, I mean, I think someone should have been looking over someone's shoulders, and this should have been nipped long before it got a chance to bloom.
Well, it all depends. Maybe they were doing things that, other people wanted done.
If that's indeed true, then I think that there should be some more trials.
Well, there are going to be more trials.
Well, one more trial.
No, there are 3 more trials. And then Representative Hamilton is talking about reopening the hearings in Congress.
Poindexter is the only other trial that I know of.
Well, how about Hakeem, I guess it is, and General Secord?
Secord is not being tried, I don't believe.
I believe you're wrong.
That may be, but it had to go higher than that, Bob. I mean, there's no way.
Well, like I said, then Congressman Hamilton is considering reopening the hearings.
And considering being lied to some more, I would expect.
Well, then, go down and overthrow the government. You've got to live within the system. The system is not perfect.
What would you...
So live with what you've got for the time being. Give it a chance.
Then we're going to have to live with the verdict of 3 of the lesser charges that he was charged with.
I'm not so sure they were lesser. They're 3 felonies, sir, with 10 years imprisonment facing the man.
Well, he also had 4 charges with a maximum of 10 years apiece facing him that he was acquitted on.
Well, they were just, much tougher to get guilt judgments on. Be happy with what you got.
You're saying sometimes the system works and sometimes it doesn't.
I think it's working.
Then obviously he was not guilty of those other charges.
I don't know that he was, if I want to believe in my system, then I have to say, no, there was not sufficient evidence to prove his guilt, therefore he is innocent. They were primarily, to the best of my knowledge, conspiratorial charges, which are very difficult and should be very difficult to prove.
Because of their severity?
No, because of how easy it is to charge someone with being part of a conspiracy.
Well, the obstruction of justice charge that he was found not guilty of was not a conspiracy. The violations of the Boland Amendment were not a conspiracy. He was charged as not as a conspirator, but as a person acting independently.
Sir, I don't see how he could have acted independently. He had to have other people in order to get the entire federal government to act against the Boland Amendment at that time. That's part of the conspiracy, I thought. But I haven't seen everything. You know, you've probably heard more about it, frankly, than I have. Right now I'm going to go into the newsroom and look through what's come in, so that I know precisely what the... Sir, I'll check whichever one I think is suitable. Thank you ever so much. What do you mean, check AP? Give me a break. Here at Fun Seekers, 10 minutes after the hour of 4 o'clock, a Thursday, May the 4th, 1989 before me, so that we can, all be playing on a level field here. The charges that North was found innocent of 5 counts of lying to or obstructing Congress, of lying to then Attorney General Edwin Meese in his investigation of the affair, of converting traveler's checks to his own use, and of conspiring to defraud the Internal Revenue Service by using a tax-exempt foundation to raise money for the Nicaraguan Contra rebels. Now let's see which one of us here is the better American, okay? You or me? I wish that he'd been convicted of all 12. That is my own personal prejudice. I despise the little guy. He's an arrogant, cocky man who has no respect for this country or its Constitution whatsoever, in my humble opinion. But I have a great deal of faith in my justice system. I have a great deal of faith in my nation. I have a great deal of faith in the way it works. I have a great deal of faith in the Constitution. So therefore, while I wish that Oliver North had been convicted of all the counts, I concede that he is innocent of 9. Because 12 good men and women, 12 good true men and women, listened to all of the facts that I have not been privileged to hear and have decided that he was innocent of those 9. Now, it behooves to see whether or not the so-called supporters of Oliver North, the so-called lovers of this country, have the guts to admit that Oliver North is now a convicted felon, convicted of 3 felony counts by 12 good men and women, 12 true good men and women, and is innocent of the other 9. Tampa, you're on there at 970 WFLA.
Hi, good afternoon, Bob.
Afternoon.
Well, I hate to call and gloat, and I guess I feel kind of ugly doing it, but I'm in an extremely good mood. I thought that was terrific news. I wasn't able to gloat at work, and most of the people were either for Ollie or just totally unaware of the situation. But I feel justice has been served. I'll agree with you there. My one comment about Ollie I'd like to make today is about this whole scapegoat theory. It really bugs me when people keep saying what a scapegoat he was and everything, because I understood that when he was raising funds, doing some of this fundraising for Spitz Channel and some of these characters, that he had bragged about being a scapegoat when people said, well, isn't this dangerous? And he had kind of bragged about it and reveled in it. And I think people really want to, he wants to have it both ways. They want him to be a scapegoat, and yet, they want him to be innocent or something. And
I have a vivid memory, talking about scapegoats, I have a vivid memory of something that happened when I was in the 5th grade. It was an afternoon kind of assembly in my grammar school, and we all came back from lunch, and we did something that we normally wouldn't do in the afternoon. We did that in the morning. We stood up and pledged our allegiance to the flag, and there was an officer, a police officer from the Collingswood Police Department, who was going to give us a little talk. And one of the things that he told us that day is that if we ever saw a crime committed, that if we ever had knowledge of a crime that had been committed, knowledge of the law being broken, it was our duty as the citizens of the United States of America to report it. Didn't make any difference who it was.
I have to agree with you. I hope this prevents future behavior of this. I don't know if it will or not, but I hope it does, and I don't think you can revel in being a scapegoat with a big smile on your face, and then when you get caught, cry pity poo, I'm a scapegoat. I think people want to have it both ways.
To the best of my knowledge, there is utterly nothing honorable. There is utterly nothing to be proud of. There is utterly no reason to have any pride in someone who has knowledge of the law being broken and keeps it to himself. He is all the more the criminal.
I agree, and I have pride in our system. I'm like you. I'm probably a little greedy. I would have liked, or not greedy. I felt from the way I understood everything that he was probably guilty on everything, just from what he had said. But I think justice has been served, and I think it's a good thing.
Thank you much.
Thank you.
990-9352 in Hillsborough. 3 lines open for some bizarre reason in Hillsborough. 990-WFLA. And after I went to all that trouble, I doubled my efforts this Thursday with a monologue and came up with 2 words: Oliver North. Reddington Shores. Hi, Reddington. You're on the air.
Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Oliver North is a pretty good representation of 99% of the people in the armed forces today.
What do you mean by that?
He doesn't have the ability to make up his own mind, to think for himself. He's got to have somebody else.
I think that's an outrageous charge, an utterly outrageous charge of the good people in the military today.
I was in the military.
Well, great.
That's why I got out.
Well, I'm delighted that you did get out, because I find that just to be absolutely unforgivable. St. Petersburg, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Right. I think the shame is on the U.S. government and the people. One of the things he had to accept the gratuity for was the security fence, because the government failed to protect them.
Because the government, because the government said there wasn't any risk.
Oh,
this is a guy that works in the White House, sir.
That was afterward that they said that there wasn't any
Sir, this
risk.
is a guy that works in the White House, and if you truly believe that what amounts to an electric gate is going to keep international terrorists away from Oliver North, then you're insane.
It's a warning device.
Yeah.
Now, the second thing of shredding documents, I credit Ollie. He's going to stand up and take the bullets because he would not let names of people be put in jeopardy.
Yeah.
And the other one is obstructing Congress.
Funny, sir, at his trial, sir, he tried to put those names in to the record at his trial. He was a great hero who was trying to protect them before he was charged, but when he was charged, sir, that he wanted everything.
That is correct to show.
These days.
It probably is, but the bottom line is that man is I don't think he'll never spend a minute in jail. And another thing, I think South America is very important to our country, probably in the next 50 to 100 years, as far as natural resources go. And I can understand why we want to take them over as a democracy.
There are no natural resources in Nicaragua, sir. That's one of the reasons it's a dirt-poor country and always has been.
Well, I mean, eventually...
The place was great for growing bananas and pineapples. And,
well, that's fine, too. They're probably better than what we grow. But we're running out of everything here. I think whole South America eventually. We start there, and we keep working our way east, west, north, and south. And it's, I can't think of it as a strategic point anywhere, but I'm sure the government has some reason. And, I'm very upset to see 9 of the charges not be stuck with them, but that's the way our system runs.
Thank you, sir.
And hopefully, like you say, this terrible, tragical thing will never happen again. I hope not.
Thank you, sir.
I like your show.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You didn't really say start working our way north in South America. It was a slip of the tongue, I'm sure, in any event. Ray Collins standing by with a WFLA news brief. Ray, I'm a creature of habit, and normally when I go to a place and I find a good dish, we're talking about restaurants here, and I find a good dish, I tend to have it every time I go there. And the time before last, I was at Calb's Cove. I was talking to Pat, and she said, what are you going to have tonight? And I said, well, I'm going to have the Italian Gentleman. And she said, well, didn't you have that last time? And I said, well, yeah, it was so good, and I really enjoyed it. And she said, well, why don't you try something else? And I said, well, Pat, oh, God, I know all the food's great, but I like the Italian Gentleman, and I had the Italian Gentleman. Last Friday, I was at Calb's Cove, and I was going to have the Italian Gentleman, and I thought, well, geez, I really shouldn't. I should try something else. And so I was leafing through the menu, and it is an extensive menu. And I came upon something I hadn't had in it. And I don't know, an age, okay? Prime rib. So I ordered the prime rib. I don't know that I'll ever have the Italian Gentleman again. I'll probably never have anything but the prime rib. The prime rib is absolutely delicious. But I would hope that you're not like me. I would hope that you're a little bit more adventurous than I am. And with a Calb's Cove menu, you've got room for a lot of adventure. An awful lot of adventure. Calb's Cove, the intimacy of tableside service. Professional personalized service without being stuffy. 13155 Gulf Boulevard in Madeira Beach. The telephone number 393-3448, 393-3448. And don't forget, something I just discovered this past Friday, General Manager there, Bruce, knows a lot about bicycles. I took his advice. So, great food and talk bicycles. Let me take a moment, if I may, before we hang this thing up tonight. This afternoon, we started to put a lid once and for all on something that was not very pretty in this country called Iran-Contra Gate. We'd come up with great names for things. But let's remember just exactly what Iran-Contra Gate was, because it was many, many, many different things. First of all, there was the little government within the government that people have talked about this afternoon. There was the absolute shame of, in essence, rearming the Ayatollah Khomeini, no matter how many moderates Ronald Reagan says he thought he was dealing with. It was the Ayatollah's country, the Ayatollah's military, the Ayatollah's regime, the Ayatollah's direct benefit. Let us not forget that. Let us not forget that Nicaragua is a dirt-poor country in Central America that is going through hellacious times, that has gone through hellacious times for virtually its entire existence. Many problems that Nicaragua has, not all, but many problems are a direct result of U.S. interference, a direct result of U.S. arrogance and just sticking its nose in there, going back 150, 200 years, I guess 150. And let us not forget that the Contras were never intended to win. No one ever thought, no one in the Pentagon, no one in the White House, no one in the White House basement, including Ali, ever thought that they could win. The only purpose of the Contras was to be a pain in the ass. No matter how many innocent people got caught in between. No matter how many hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars were wasted just being a pain in the ass to some people that have been jerked around for 150 years. It was a game. It was a game that little boys like Oliver North and little boys like Poindexter and little boys like McFarlane and little boys like Secord like to play with other people's lives. They like to sit back in their comfortable Virginia homes, or maybe their French Riviera retreats, and play games with other people's lives. Innocent people that are just trying to feed themselves. Let us not lose sight of the fact that these people were totally willing to ignore our laws, our Constitution, our way of doing things, to supposedly bring Constitution and laws to some other country. Let us not forget that there is not now, nor was there, nor is there expected to be any kind of a plan for victory. It was just a game. Just a group of ideologues trying to unseat some Marxist-Leninists. It was basically a pathetic soul that runs around trying to write poetry and somehow rescue a hopeless economy and country from the jaws of defeat. And so one of the people that played this game got his hand slapped this afternoon. He got convicted of 3 counts, and yes, exonerated on 9. And if we're all lucky, a lesson will go out that'll be remembered for a long, long time, and that no Democratic, no Republican administration will ever try to play games like that again. And shame on you who support Oliver North so much that you would subvert my Congress and thumb your nose at my courts. Hey, baby, they worked. I'm glad they did. And to hell with you.